One of the documentaries that's going to be on as a BBC film that's on over Christmas. And apparently they were doing the rehearsal before the coronation, and William was trying to fasten all the clasps and everything on the robes, and he was obviously kind of nervous and said, oh, I don't think it's going to go in on the day that's going to happen. And Charles reassures him, I think is what he's saying, no, you haven't got sausage fingers like mine, which is obviously his way of putting William at ease. But I think all these moments and what we're going to see in the documentaries, I remember watching the coronation and just thinking...
Sorry, Susan, those are Charles's fingers.
Oh, I looked up then and wondered what I was looking at.
He looks like he's got a chapped knuckle as well.
Yes, it does. Do you know,
I mean... sausage fingers, doesn't he? I didn't realise...
If I were to drop a royal name, I was with him recently.
Of course.
And shook his hand.
Yes.
And they are sausagey.
Oh,
his fingers.
really?
Really? I noticed it.
Did you get your MBE from Charles?
Yeah.
You got your MBE from Charles?
I got mine from Charles also.
He at the end, he pins the thing on you, doesn't he? And then he held out his hand to shake my hand. And I grasped, I don't know why, I grasped his hand with both of mine.
Are you allowed to do that?
Well, I did.
She's undone. We do what she wants.
I know. We had a laugh. And I grabbed his hand, and I thought, that's the first thing I noticed. He has little fat fingers. He really does.
Did you notice that, Noddy? Was that one of your observations?
I wasn't allowed to shake his hand. Maybe...
You didn't know you shook his hand as he... that's how they get rid of you. They shake your hand and do a little push.
I was a bit flabbergasted with how handsome he looked in the flesh.
Yeah.
He was dressed in his naval uniform. This was in 2000 I got mine. And...
you see, maybe he didn't have fat fingers then.
No, maybe we got a bit of water.
I was all tarted up. I'd got a frock coat on and everything. And he went, you're the best dressed man here today.
Oh.
And I said, thank you, sir, because he looked fabulous.
Yeah.
I said, I've made a special effort for you, sir. And he went, no, thank you. He said, are you still touring? I said, no, I'm a bit too old for that now. And he said, I know what you mean. I get fed up with it sometimes. He was lovely, weren't he? He's lovely.
I was absolutely knocked out.
And me.
Yeah.
And I don't get impressed.
No, me too. Exactly, that's what I thought. I came out on cloud nine, and whenever I think about it, I'm still on cloud nine.
Yeah.
It's just, he was fab.
And he sounds, by making a comment like that, he does sound very self-deprecating, which a lot of people wouldn't think about.
This is the thing about Charles, though. He has, and he's always been known for acting. People forget he's got a very, very good sense of humour. He loves comedy. I mean, he was a big fan of the Goons. He was very friendly with people like Spike Milligan, who was very off the wall, and that's why, excuse me, his humanity does come through. I think if you've got humour, your humanity does come through very well. And I think that's what we're going to see in these kind of behind-the-scenes documentaries, that kind of humour that you see, those unguarded moments.
And he was informed as well, because I got my gong for the cot death campaign of 1991, a long time ago. But he was very informed about it, knew all about it, and he said, tell me about it. And I was able to explain it was all about sleep position, and that's the difference it was meant to make. And he said, well, does that mean I was probably slept on my back, on my front? And I said, yes, you probably were.
Yeah.
And he said, well, it's a miracle I'm here at all. And we had a laugh.
Yeah.
And I was so impressed with him.
Yeah. He does know about every person that comes up to him. He knows why they're there.
How does he do that?
The briefings that they get, the briefing they get in their ears, I watched because obviously I was there when Nod got his, and I watched it I thought the efficiency and the mechanics of it were just so impressive. And they had an equerry stood behind Charles, and before every person, he would step forward and with no notes was whispering in his ear and then would step back. On what on earth he was saying, I don't know. But for every single person, there was a nugget of something that then meant that Charles could refresh what he'd obviously been briefed on before and had learned, and then could have the conversation he needed to have with the right person. And that is brilliantly done.
And taught well by his late great mother.
Absolutely.
Because she wasn't superb at that as well.